Hi everyone, in this video we are going to code the contact section of our website. So the contact section is going to be a relatively easier section with less code than the other sections because there isn't like a lot of moving parts. There's just a form that we need to make sure that it is responsive. So first off, we have this little title, which we are going to call mini title. It is going to receive almost the same styling as the one that we had in the features section. Then we are going to have our title. Now this entire section is one container, and we are going to have an H6 and H2 for these, and basically the rest of them is going to be a gigantic form input. So let's dive into code and let's see how we can create that. Now within the contact section, first let me get rid of that, and I'm going to say contact, or I'm just going to say mini title. So mini title is going to be an H6, and it is going to say contact. Let me just copy that. So contact __ mini dash title. So what is it going to say? It is going to say contact us. There we go. Then we have the title for the section itself. So I'm just going to name it title. This is an H2. The class is going to be contact __ title. Now, this H2 is going to receive the same styling as the H2s for the previous two sections. So that's not something that I want to talk about here. I just want to code this in HTML, and styling will be in our next video. So I'm going to say we will, and I'm going to provide a span element here. Be glad. Now you know why we provide spans. The reason for that is because we want to style that particular element differently, that particular content differently. We want to style it differently. So it is to hear from you. So this is the H2, and here is the form, which is going to be relatively large one. So the form is going to have a class of contact __ form. Let's get rid of the action for the form. Let's come back to the page. Let's save all of these. So what do we have here? Here we have, first we are going to have a radio button, a pair of radio buttons. So this part, this entire part, this is going to be one field set. Then we are going to have three inputs, followed by a text area. And then these two parts, this checkbox, which I'm going to show you how you can actually style a checkbox like this, along with the terms text, they're going to be one field set, along with this submit button. So this is going to be the last field set. So let's dive into creating these. So what do we have first? First is going to be department. It is going to be field set. The class is going to be, I'm going to copy this because we're going to need it a lot. This is going to be department. So what do we have here? First, I'm going to provide a label. So the label is going to be for DEPT, and it is going to say department. And then we are going to have, let's just jump into here again. So you can see here we have a radio button that we can click, and we also have some kind of text. So there are actually two elements here. So radio buttons, by default, they don't have any text, so I'm just going to provide some text in front of them. But because there are two elements, I'm going to use a div. So the div is not going to have any class. I'm going to say this is an input with the type of radio. The name is going to be DEPT, and the ID for this input is going to be DEPT. There we go. So, and after I've created that input, I'm going to say support. There we go. And I'm going to copy it down below. So it's either going to be the sales department or the support department. Keep in mind that if you want this radio button to select only one option, you need to provide the name. The name attribute has to be the same for all the radio buttons that you want to be selectable only once. So if the name is different, then in that case, both of them will be selected. And I could show you that. So I could say this is like, I don't know, like sales. Let's save that. Let's come into page. So now here is sales. I can select support. I can select sales. So they're still connected. Okay, this is our website right here. So if I click on the sales and I click on the support, now you can see I can select both of them. Now this is not, where is it? It's right here. This is not usually what you want when you're creating radio buttons. Radio buttons must allow the user to select only one option, not both of them. So this is not something that you want. For that matter, I'm going to provide the name as it has to be the same. So we are done with the department. Let's jump down. The next one, it is going to be a type of text. The placeholder is going to say subject. There we go. After that, we are going to have another input. It is going to be the type of text. The placeholder is going to say name. And then we are going to have another one. Now this one is going to be type email. Placeholder is going to say email. There we go. And finally, we have our text area. Not finally, but we do have our text area. So the name is going to be message. The ID, I'm going to provide it the same message. And I'm not going to touch the dimensions. I'm just going to add a placeholder. Placeholder, I'm going to say write your message. Okay, so moving on. Now, after the text area, what do we have here? Let's take a look at our final website. So here is the text area. Then we need to create a checkbox, some text, as well as this input, which is input with the type of submit. And I'm going to provide all of them within one field set. So this is going to be field set. It's going to have a class of contact form -- submit. So for the checkbox, excuse me, for the checkbox and the label that is in front of it, which is going to say I agree to terms and conditions, we are going to use one div. So it is going to be input with the type of checkbox. We are going to style this differently, and I'm going to give it a class of terms. Then I'm not going to provide a label here, a paragraph that is going to say I agree. I'm just going to provide a label. So it's going to say I agree to terms and conditions. There we go. So that part is done. And finally, we are going to have an input that is going to have a type of submit, and the value could be sent. Let's save everything. Everything is rearranged, and let's jump back here. So this is the HTML that we have created, and in our next lecture, we are going to dive into CSS, and we are going to style everything from the ground up. So see you then.